Good evening, members of the board. My name is David Waggoner, and along with my colleague Shepard Kopp, I represent the Sheriff of the City and County of San Francisco, Ross Mirkarimi. I want to make two brief points about the process, item 71 tonight. The first point I want to make is they're both objections. The first objection is we object to having the commission come before you and make a 20-minute presentation, and in effect giving the commission equal time to the mayor and the sheriff. The reason that we object is because this proceeding is extraordinary in its nature. Everything about this proceeding is extraordinary. As you probably know, this is only the third time ever in the history of the city that a mayor has suspended an elected official. This is not a routine review of a local agency action or decision. This is an extraordinary time for you to consider whether or not 9 votes of this board can, in effect, outweigh 84,000 votes of people who voted for the sheriff. So there are several other ways why this proceeding is different than others that have come before you, and why this proceeding requires the adoption of different mechanisms, a different process. In this proceeding, both the board, the ultimate decision maker, and ethics, the party compiling the record and making a recommendation to you, both share the same legal counsel. That is very unusual, I would submit to you. 3 of the 5 ethics commissioners are appointed by individuals who have directly been opposed to the sheriff. The mayor has benefited from the unlimited resources of the city attorney's office, unlike other parties who have come before you. This entire process has been uneven, and we fear that if ethics can come before you, no matter whether they decide in the sheriff's, for the sheriff or against the sheriff, they, in effect, their position, it's more important for you to decide based on the record. If I may make one final point, and that is...
I think Supervisor Kopp has a quick question.
Sure.
Yes, I'd like to ask you to make the point that you wanted to make. Just want to hear what you have to say on that.
There's a couple of other ways. You know, the Ethics Commission it's not like the Planning Commission. It's not like other commissions in the city. The Ethics Commission is there to decide questions of ethics, of campaign finance, of really the ultimate integrity of the political process here in this city. And to ask that body to come before you and essentially advocate for what is ultimately a political decision a month or weeks away from an election where several of you will be running for office, that the politics of all of that are, to me, very transparent, and it has the appearance of impropriety to ask ethics to come and make that to advocate before you. The final point I would just like to
Supervisor
make.
Kopp had one.
Sure.
Just to follow up on your point, so that I understand, what is your view as to what role, if any, the Ethics Commission should have in the proceeding that takes place here at the board?
Our position is that the Ethics Commission under the City Charter 15.105 is charged with compiling a record and making a recommendation to you. There is no other provision in the Charter for the Ethics Commission to have any other participation in these proceedings. Now, of course, you have to take action to effectuate what the Charter requires you to do, which is to review that record and vote. But I would submit that does not require you hearing the Ethics Commission explain their position. Of course, we do not oppose the Ethics Commission answering questions that you may have about the process, about the record, about how they reached their decision, but to give them, in effect, equal time to the mayor and the sheriff, we do not feel is necessary, and it's not authorized in the Charter.
Thank you very much.
And if I may make one final very brief point, that is, and this is the other request that we would have that's different than the process that's laid out. The mechanisms the voters established to remove an elected official for official misconduct only work if the party with the power to suspend does so in good faith. Here, we have ample evidence that that is not the case. City officials, one former president of this chamber, have come forward and made public statements that, if true, mean that the mayor was not truthful when he testified before the Ethics Commission. Those questions about the mayor's truthfulness and about who the mayor communicated with have created a cloud over this proceeding, and that cloud will remain until those questions are resolved. So in that regard, we've also respectfully requested that this body, the Board of Supervisors, either in oral testimony or in a written declaration under oath, state affirmatively who each of you has communicated with about these proceedings, or if not, then so state. And with that, respectfully, I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear